All right, good evening and welcome to our grand finale. Let me use that word. Welcome to our grand finale, the seventh day of these 7 amazing days of learning the basics of sight reading and music. And I want to really appreciate us all for being devoted, for staying back, and for taking your time to join this class. The 7 hours you've dedicated for this class have shown that you truly need this, and I would, on my own, try my very best to support you in the little way I can. And the little way I can is to teach you whatever it is you need to know reading. Tonight, I think in the part of Lagos where this transmission is coming from, in the whole of Lagos, Nigeria, there was rain today, and we are having a bit backlash in the network. So please, if you are having any difficulty or if there is any break in the transmission, like if you can't hear me appropriately, please bear with me. It is not intentional. And I do not control the network as well. So it is my responsibility to ensure that the network is stable. So I take the blame. All right, so tonight is our final night, and I want to really believe that the past 7 days you've been able to add value to yourself. You've been able to learn something new. You've been able to explore more in music. You've known what you never knew before, and would really overcome the challenges that we may be facing at the moment. Okay, I am really sorry. Some of us are really going through. The network is not that strong, but I'm sorry. We'll see what we can do. So just like I said, we are going to do some of those exercises on the bass clip. So for tonight, let's start with our day 22. Now I want to really saturate the bass staff so we can also see how it goes. Now on the bass staff, you have the first line as your G. And I want to believe we all know that our first line here is G. The second line is B. Good boy does fine always. So when you be able to realize that good boy does fine always, and that here all cow eats grass. So when you are able to do that, the next thing you do is just, or you see a song, you do the same thing we did yesterday, and that is you writing out the scale of the song, then you get the notes yourself. So let's go to a song, joyful, joyful, we adore thee. We are going to, on the bass staff, when you see a note, you are supposed to see something like this, right? Now, the one that has this stem down is our bass note, and the one that the stem goes up is our, this is for treble, sorry. The one that has its stem down is alto, and the one that has its stem up is soprano. So on the bass staff, it is the same thing. This is your tenor and the bass. So tonight we are going to look at the bass. There are two essential parts. When we were in composition class, it said which part do you, after the melody, which other part do you work on? Which other part do you try to find the notes? When you are done with the melody, if you are composing, the first thing you do is to get the melody. After the melody, the second thing is to get your bass. It is from your bass you can find your alto and your tenor. But we are not in a composition class, but know that there are two very important parts in music. First is your melody, which is your soprano. Your soprano part sings the melody part, whereas your bass part, now, when you're done with your melody, the first part you realize, the first part you go for, so that your music will be very okay, is the bass. When you're done with your melody, which is the treble, or soprano, sorry. Alright, so let's look at the song, O God, our help in ages past. O God, our help in ages past. Yeah, what we have is, we have a note on the second space, right? Then we have a note here on the second space again. Before that note, we have this, and this is telling us that this song is starting with an upbeat, what is known as anacrosis. 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 Someone asked online when a song starts with an upbeat. But we are going to go into real music theory. I want to also relax a bit for some days, then I'll bring up another class for us, at least a 14 days class. All right, so we have the next notes on our fourth line, then the next note is on our third, in our third space. The next note is on the fifth line, right? Then we have a bar here, and the next note we have here also is on the fourth line, and we also have another note in the fourth space, and we also have another note in the second space and second space. Let's just stop here. Now, what we did in the soprano, we said, okay, when there is no time signature like this, what we have here is C. So I'm going to write out the scale of C. My scale of C should be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C, right? Okay, so I'll then come below here and write out my sulfur notes mi, fa, sol, la, si, and do. And when you're done with that, the next thing you have to do is to realize the notes, right? So in our second space, the first note here is in our second space. This is a bass clef, please. The first note is in our second space. What is on in our second space? Our second space is C, right? And what is in our C? Our C is Do, right? That means the second space, the first note is Do, the second note is Do as well because it's still in C. So anything that falls on C is your Do, right? So the next note is on the fourth line. What is on our fourth line? We are supposed to have F on our fourth line. That means F here is our Fa, right? So we have Fa, right? Then the next note is in the third space. All right, so like I was saying, I'm so sorry for that break in transmission. I had a very important message that came in, so I'm sorry about that. Okay, so we were on our third note in the second bar, right? So here we have our E. What is on our E? Mi, right? We have E here, which is our Mi, right? On the fifth line. The fifth line is A, right? So the fifth line is A, which is my La, right? That is how you do it. So this simple step now, if you know your bass clef, you do the same thing. And you get all your notes. It's as simple as that. And finally, we have the next bar. What is on our next bar? We have F here, which is our Fa, right? F was supposed to be Fa in key C. Then we also have G here, which is our So. And we have here C, C. C is our Do already. We know that. So you have your bass note already here. Those of you that sings bass, do, do, fa, mi, la, fa, sol, do, do. That is it. We've transcribed, we've been able to sight read the bass clef now, just using the same thing we did on the treble clef, right? Do, do, fa, mi, la, fa, sol, do. You've done it. So you continue like that. Then what is very important is for you to know the names of these lines. When you know the names of this line, practice it. You will not be perfect today. You can't do just like I'm doing. It will take you some time to get these notes. Sure. But the truth is, if you are consistent, if you follow it up, you see that it will not take you a long time to know these things by heart, and then you would not even need to write out these letters. You would not even need to write out the scales before you start singing or playing. On your hymn book or wherever, you would not need to write them out. All you need is to know these lines. So I know that my G is here, good boy does fine always, right? Then I also have here, all cow eats grass. Fine. All cow eats grass. That means any note that is in the third space, second space is my C, third space is my E, and fourth space is my G. That is the bass clef. So you are doing almost the same thing you did on the treble clef in the bass clef. So we've been able to get that song. We've been able to sight read the first two bars of "Oh God, Our Help in Ages Past" on the bass clef. You know, we were really we were just on the alto clef, but it's the same thing. You can now see that there is no difference there. There is no difference. Let me do another one on the bass clef, because one thing that disturbs us is getting these notes. And I've given you a very simple principle you will use. Good boy does fine always. Try to cram it. When you repeat this thing 100 times, you will not forget it again. Just repeat it over. Sit down for like 3 minutes and repeat. Good boy does fine always. There is no way you will forget it again in your life. Okay, so let's look at the next song. Let's look at a song like Great is Thy Faithfulness 40. And what we have here is in two, right? Okay, before I take you to two sharps, let me take you to one sharp. We are just coming out from zero flat, zero sharp, right? So before I take you to two sharps, let me take you to a song that is in one sharp. And which song did we do yesterday? All right. So let's go back to the 31 that we did. All hail the power of Jesus' name. So the first note, that song is in key G. Now, where is my G going to be positioned? My G would be in this space here. You see, on the treble staff, my G is on this line, right? Because this line is G. This space is my G. That is where you also see your G. You can see that this is in the space and this is on the line. Look at, if you are with your hymn book, you can also cross-check that. You always see these things. Learn them. They are very important. It tells you that, okay, the note G is the note F. It tells you, sorry. It tells you that the note F is, I was confused, sorry, is on the F, right? Which is, this one is on the fifth line, this one is on the fourth line. That is where your F is. I'm really sorry for that error. It's an oversight, please. So, what do we have here? We have it on our F. So that means, that is telling us that our F's are always sharpened, except we have a natural sign, which I think we did that on the fourth day. So if you can go to our fourth lesson, our fourth day, you will see what we did and what I said about the natural sign, fourth or fifth day. But now let's continue. So what we have in the first bar of that song is we have a D, we have a note here on the bass, and we have another note here. Let me just bring it down. I was not supposed to bring it down, but since I'm seeing this as bass, that maybe I can put another note here. Let's do it that way. Then we have another note here, then another note here, and this is done. Then we also have another note on our D, and I think our E, and I think D and B, right? Okay, so these are the notes we have. So first, what you do here, I'm going to remove my C scale. My do re mi fa remains, right? My do re mi fa remains. What end comes here now is my G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. Once you know this thing I've gone so far, you already know how to sight read. And I want to really say you've done your best and you have tried. And kudos to you for knowing how to sight read. So what you do here is to know the lines again of the bass clef. So what is my first note? My first note is on D. My D. What is on my D here? We have our So, right? The second note here is on our G, eh? The lower G. So we have here our G. So, do, 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 do. So this is more like a lower Do and the other Do. So you are having the same note, right? But there is an octave from here. So you have G, G, and also another G, G. So throughout that bar in the bass line, you have 2G. Now this G is here, and the other G should be an octave. And you know what you do to an octave? You add something like this on it. So if you have anything that is higher than that, you add it. So we have here so do, right? The next bar is the same thing. You will also have our D here, which is our so, right? So we have our so here, then we also have here E, um, right? Our la, then we also have here our so again. Then we also have our B, right? Is that our B? I want to be sure I'm correct. Yes. Yeah, that is our B. So we've been able to side read that, and our B is our me, right? Our B is our me. So what we have here is so do so mi. You can continue. You can continue. If you are with your hymn books, please continue. Don't wait for anybody. Don't wait for anybody. Just continue. Just continue sight reading. Don't wait for anybody. Don't wait for me again. I have done my best. I have shown you what you need to know. I have shown you everything you need to know. And what is left for you now is just to discipline yourself. Give yourself at least 30 minutes a day to sight read. Please. Okay, we are done with that. Let me take you also to another song on the key of D. Right? And when we're done with that song, I think that's where the class today will end. And I'll tell you some things before I leave you to go. We've so far been able to do our best, and I want to really believe. I want to see someone saying, "Okay, I can sight read." No one has been. I met some. There are some persons I never knew were actually participating in this class. So someone saw me today, and I said, "You are really trying. I saw your lessons, and I really enjoyed it, and I gained something. I want to also believe that you gained something. I want to believe that you were able to achieve something, and I want to also see you explore. I want to see you, if you are having issues with your piano side reading this stuff, I want to see you start playing well now. Do it little by little. Though it is not encouraged you use the software notation to learn how to play your piano, but we'll come to that. Here we are in a class where you can use it to sing, both singing and playing. For those that are playing, just know the letter names and know your letters on your instrument. If this is my D, I should know the position of this D on my instrument. If I know the position of this D on my instrument, then everything is okay. Then I am sure of what I am doing. If I know that, okay, this is where this D is, this is my middle C. My middle C is supposed to be here, and if my middle C is here, then below the middle C is my B, and this line is A. In our first day class, I think we did the grand staff, what we called the grand or great staff. So you will need to go through all those lessons, go through them again. Even if you know, even if you've been able to achieve all these things, go through those classes again and make sure you do what is called a recap of what we did within the past 7 days. Now this is how to sight read, and you can see that it's very, 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 very simple on the base level as well. Now I want to do, let us do an exercise on two sharps, and we also know that our two sharps is supposed to be our D major, right? So our 2 sharp is our D major. Don't forget that our 2 sharp is supposed to be our D major. So let's look for a song that is in the key of D major. And where do we find that song? That song can be found anywhere. Okay, let's look at 40. So 40 is in D major, right? Uh, So the notes we have there, first you have your sharp here, telling you that this note is sharpened, and the next note that is sharpened is also there. The next note should be my C, right? After F in sharps, when you have your F sharp, the next sharp should be your C sharp. The next sharp for your C sharp, you should have your G sharp, and you continue, right? The same thing when you have your B flat, the next sharp should be your E flat, the next sharp should be your A flat, and you continue as well. So you should know these things by heart. Just like I'm telling you, someone asked me if I have a material. I have a material, but I have been teaching you for the past 7 days. I've been teaching you for the past 7 days, and I want to really say from um, uh, that from the beginning of that class up to this moment, that I have not used any book to teach you. I only had some guidelines, and that was just all. I have materials we can use for it, but I don't use book because these things are just there, and it's not really necessary. Except I want to give you some special assignment. That is where I'll have to maybe look for the book, but we don't need book to do this again. All right, so let's continue on the B. So that song is very simple. We have notes. That song is too common and too very simple. I think we should look for another song that is on D. Okay, let's look at 430. To Christ the Lord be faithful. Oh, but that one is also very simple. But let's see what is there. We have our um, notes here, then another note here, then another note here, then another other notes, then two notes here. All this base is always quite very simple, sure. Then we have another note here. Base is always very simple. Some will say it's not this simple. Then we also have another note here. Another note. This is don't forget, this is a half note. Then we also have, finally in that bar we have 8 notes, two 8 notes, which are like these. So these are the notes. Alright, so these are the notes we have in that bar. So how do you sing through this? We already know. I'm doing this over again. So by now, if you don't know it, it's not my fault though. It's not my fault because I've been doing this for over 3 days now. I think so. Yeah, 3 days now because I started half of the class of our day 5. Yeah, that was when we started the retranscribing like this. So what I'll do here is to write out my D. So C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and my D again. Yeah, when I have that, you already know that we have 2 sharp, which is our F sharp and our C sharp. So what we do is to, please, the messages should not come in now. When we are done with the class, you can bring the messages, right? All right. So what we do is so okay. So I read this now. This is our D, right? And what we have on our D is our Do. And the next note is still our Do, right? Then the next note is on the C, sorry, on the E, which is our Re. The next note is Do. The next note is Do. Very simple, right? Then we also have there on the A. What is our A? So we have another A there, which is so. So we have now these have 8 notes, which is on the um, G and F. So G and F. So which is fa, mi. So you can now see that it is very simple. I have done my assignment on key G. Oh Lord, our help in ages past. Oh God, our help in ages past is not in key G, it is in key C major. All right. So please redo your assignment. That is not in key G, it's in key C major. Or maybe we wanted to type key C. All right. So you can see what we have on the board here. D, 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 E, D, D, A, A, then G and F. So you can now sing if you know the song now you can sing. We have throughout in that notebook we have choral notes. So we can say okay, do re do so fa mi, something like that. You know, to Christ the Lord be faithful. So bass is singing, to Christ the Lord be faithful. The re do so fa mi re, so fa mi re. That is the bass note. So when you already know the bass notes, you are sure now of also the tenor notes, because you already know, yeah, you already know the lines and spaces of your bass. So I think this is the last example exercise we are going to do today. I want to use this medium to also thank you for staying with me. Mostly those of you that are attending the live class. It's not really easy. You've devoted your time. You've given yourself a lot, your energy and a lot of things. You've given it to this thing, and I, from my own angle, I want to say thank you for staying with me. Thank you for um, trusting me for these 7 days. And I want to assure you that whatever I gave out here, they are real things that when you go into the real world, you will see them. I want to say I am very happy and seeing you is seeing you with me here is gives me joy, because had it been I was doing it alone, I wouldn't have really been happy. I want to thank you and I want to encourage you. This is our 7th day. The 7 day class have ended today, but don't stop there. If you stop, the truth is music is, I used to say, is a jealous lover. Jealous lover that when you leave it, it's going to really leave you. If you leave music for 1 day, it is certain to leave you for 2 days. If you leave it for 1 week, then expect it leaving you for 1 month. If you leave music for 1 week, expect it leaving you for 1 month. So you'll be surprised that I taught you all this and you leave it after that training, and you come back again in 21 days or maybe in 7 days. You want to do the same thing we've been doing here. Within the past 7 days, some are already used to the lines and the spaces. Some are used to everything. You're used to the notes and everything, and you leave it for 2 weeks and you say, okay, let me go back and side read. You discover that you won't be able to do it. You won't be able to do it. So for now that you are starting, please just give yourself 21 days of visual music. Now, when I say 21 days, 1 hour daily, it is very important. You just give it to yourself. You can also call me to join you whenever you have any challenge. If you are an instrumentalist and you're having issues, you can reach out to me. You all have my WhatsApp line, that is my direct line. It is also my call line. That WhatsApp number is also my call line. You can also call me directly. You can chat me up on Facebook, WhatsApp, and anywhere. And even if it's in the night, midnight, you can also call to render my help, to do whatever the little I can do to support you and to ensure that you are able to get these things. Thank you for staying back. I want to really appreciate you, and I want to encourage you. Don't stop here. Don't stop here. Continue. And please, finally, I'll be posting on daily basis, and those videos I'll be posting is also there to help you. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am also I also do this on um, I won't say come on Facebook. I wouldn't want to invite you to Facebook, but please subscribe to my YouTube channel, because the YouTube is where I do more of the training. The Facebook, we are just there to enjoy music. We enjoy more of music on Facebook, but the real training like this is on the YouTube. So you can always join me on YouTube. You can also follow me on our Facebook, and also on the name I have here on YouTube is the same name I have on TikTok. So if you don't go to YouTube always, you can also follow me on TikTok, so that you can also receive these classes there. Whatever video I post on YouTube will be posted on TikTok as well. For those of you that are very good with TikTok, you can also view these videos there, and there are also reminders that will also help you in your theory classes. The level at which you can play your instrument, the level at which you can sing a song, depends solely on how you would be able, how you can be able to um, the um, the level at which you know your theory of music. I want to really say thank you, and I don't really want to take much of your time tonight. If you have any question, if you have anything that bothers you a lot, bring it to the platform. If you can't bring it to the platform, call me directly. If you can call me, send me a voice note, get to me. But I want to believe that I have been able to share these um, things with you, the theory that I know, and the more about sight reading. And these are all that you need to know about sight reading. So in the next 1 month, let me say I'll give it a kind of 3 weeks break. We will also see what we can do to continue this class. But then it's not really going to be on sight reading. It would be a pure music class where we'll be going with music theory, so that you can know more about music theory. So thank you so much. This is where our 7 days intensive sight reading masterclass ends. I'm so happy I was able to do this. So if you're happy, please leave. If you're online now and you're seeing this thing, I want to just see you leave a comment here before I go off. Let me just feel it. Let me just feel that. Oh, you've leave a comment. Whatever you have to tell me, just leave it here first. I know you can also say it on the platform, but leave it here for me before I go off. I want to go off now. I want to go off now. Before I go off, just type something. If you are here with us, how was the experience within the past 7 days? For me, I think I am so happy that um, the 7 days I was given, we never had any problem. I want to really thank God for that, the success of this 7 days intensive masterclass. And I want to also thank you for coming. I want to also thank you for supporting me. And for me again, I want to be sure that I have been able to add value to someone's life. So how am I going to be sure of that? It's when you really continue with this value you've added to yourself. I'll be so proud seeing you doing it, and you say, okay, It was during the 7 days intensive masterclass, sight reading masterclass that we had, that you were able to really know more about sight reading. So with that, nobody's typing. So good night. I love you all, and I am so happy we've been able to conclude these 7 days masterclass. We still have 10 minutes left to 9, but we don't have much again. We don't have much again. All is now on you. Okay. Yes, you are requesting for an assignment for the 21 days. I can't really say I would give you an assignment for the 21 days, but you have your songs that you sing. What I will tell you to do is just go through them for the next 21 days. And I'll also try my best to give you works to do on the platform. I wish you all God's love, grace as you begin this music journey. Thank you, and bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.